Yeah, we are live. We should be
Are
live.
we?
Yeah, we're live. We're live. There we go. We're live. I can't edit the thumbnail. Let me just start my YouTube stuff. We'll do our pre-ramble. Because there's actually, a lot has happened. I can't wait to talk about the rumors because, like, it's just like, oh, it's funny. It's funny. How do I manage? Oh, I can only do it while I exit the stream. Okay, going on to my YouTube channel. Yes. There we go. Okay, cool. One is watching now. We've got one person. I don't think that's me.
It's me.
Yeah. I've been trying to get better at these stream schedules. Let me just send it. Kill Team General. Yeah, because Pathfinders are actually hugely requested at the moment. Let me share it on this place. Because, well, you're interested in running them. Lots of people are. I never have actually done Pathfinders as a guide. Because, like, have you watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
I watched some of the very first bits of Full Metal Alchemist, but I don't know if that was Brotherhood or whether it was the original stuff.
Do you know Colonel Mustang? Do you know about, like, I guess you... No, you don't. Well, basically, he knows a very destructive art of alchemy, which he used effectively in the war. And the only way he was taught was that he agreed to never teach anyone because of how dangerous and powerful his stuff is. And that's how I feel with Pathfinders. I feel like I should not pass on the knowledge. Everyone should just stop playing this kill team. The game would be better. just everyone is just like...
This kill team?
Yes, yeah. Well, that's weird. You still have the 40k box and the Pathfinder 40k kill team box, right?
Yeah. Well, this has got an extra sprue in it, right?
Yes. It's weird. You
take a recon drone.
But it's weird because you technically don't need the upgrade sprue. Because
you're telling me I didn't need this box.
You technically do, but it's like you can proxy enough with the core book because the normal Pathfinder kit came with a ton of bits anyway. So that's okay. We got 6 people now. That's a warning. 10 people. There we go. All right. We'll get into this is like the pre-ramble, right? It's to make sure people still listen to the podcast. It's great because podcasts are important. But I'm joined by Scrivo. We'll talk about like in 5 minutes, I guess, once enough people on board. Because what was it? Yeah. So yeah, I've been going through some stuff, which is why like my content has been very erratic, and the problem is like I can't. It takes me energy now to speak at the normal volume I did. So the problem I had, I've recorded 2 videos where I had to re-record them because I thought I was speaking loud enough and turns out I wasn't. So the microphone was not picking up. No, it's still the Pathfinder one. I can't change the thumbnail until I end the stream. YouTube is weird. So it'll be updated when the stream ends. So that's been annoying. Because like, if you listen to the latest 2 videos, you'll oddly find parts where the audio cuts out because I think I'm speaking my normal volume, but my microphone is saying I'm too quiet, so it just cuts out, which is really annoying. So, yeah, and then like today, like Charles actually messaged me. He's like, John, did you say something about mandrakes? As I've said a lot of things about mandrakes, Charles. And he was like, well, someone's made a thread about you on the Facebook pages. And I was like, what? And then it turns out, like, there was this guy from, like, a few weeks ago who was just like, you know, it's like, I got this from Rob, from The Honest Wargamer, who's definitely my friend and watches all my stuff.
He's not.
He's my
He doesn't even like Kill Team.
I know, but he's my friend. But
sure.
What was it? Yeah, it's like, it happened in Underworlds, but it's like where you have dedicated haters who are just like, cute. Because the thing is, if you don't like someone, just don't engage with their content. Like, there's no point unliking it or whatever, or like laugh reacting, because I will farm you for that, because all you're doing is boosting your engagement. If you are telling your friends not to watch me, that is free advertisement, because I guarantee you they either weren't going to watch me anyway, or now they're going to watch me out of curiosity. So either way it helps. Like, it's the thing is, like I was telling my friends, like, just, if you don't like these videos, just stop engaging with them, because that's why they keep recommending to you, because you're helping boosting it by watching it, unliking it, and then like commenting why it's bad.
So good, isn't it?
But basically, this guy was so angry. Because I'm running an event in May, and I need to know the rulings for, because there's going to be Mandrake players, and I need to know how Mandrakes properly work on Into the Dark. And there's like an FAQ where in Into the Dark, because everything's heavy, they said you only measure, if you need to be counted as being within heavy, you have to measure from pillars and wall ends. But then the question we were like, does pillars in the middle of walls count as pillars for the purposes of measuring from heavy, or don't they?
Or do they mean the big pillars, not just those weird kind of joining ones?
Yeah, the joining ones, you know, like the ones that are in the middle of walls and stuff, do they count? And we think they do, but it's so unclear. So I was asking that. And then because
you measure LOS from those, don't you? So like if your base is tucked behind them.
You don't. They don't.
You don't.
Yeah, because basically when they play tested it, apparently it was all just flat walls. And then they they saw the plastic and they were like, that's not flat. So that's basically how they got around it. Also, I'm told, because I'm literally not a playtester, but so he somehow confused that as line of sight, which I have never actually brought up about line of sight for Pathfinder, for Mandrakes and Into the Dark. And it was just like, you're so stupid. You didn't even fully, you can't read. There's like nothing I've even said. I just found it hilarious. It was the point where the admin was like on the website, on the Facebook page, was like, he's not forcing you to click on his content. Like, you don't have to engage. This is just targeted harassment. And he got very upset. So that was funny.
Yeah.
Because I've had a lot worse. There was like, in Underworld, it was way worse. I had like a group of Australians who got really upset at my content. I would just like joke about it and talk about me indirectly. So they stopped because I kept going, thanks guys, you keep boosting up my posts so I get more coverage. You're helping my channel grow so much. I love your feedback. And then they just stopped posting because they didn't know what to do. And I just loved it. Hilarious. Morons.
Bless them.
Yeah. We can also quickly talk like the leaks. The leaks is actually, so you may not have seen this, but there was like a huge 4chan leaks. I personally believe most of it is correct. Some of it clearly isn't, because it's like, there's no like, the thing about getting rid of resin models because of EU laws. Now, that's just Games Workshop in general.
Well, it's what they've been doing for the last 5 years.
Yeah. The funniest thing about it was that there was nothing about Kill Team and Blood Bowl. Clearly the best performing games for GW. Like, there's not, the worst thing about Kill Team is there's just like, what do you call it? They're doing like Blood Bowl and Necromunda. They're just like mystery games. Their player bases are so dedicated. They just keep the game running. I mean, I've bought a lot of Necromunda models for Kill Team. Like, the models are great. But Blood Bowl, I'm just like, most Blood Bowl players I know don't even use official GW miniatures. So I don't know how these Blood Bowl miniatures are making money. It's just like, what was it? So the big thing is I got a lot of messages from my Underworlds friends because they're terrified that Underworlds is going to be cancelled. And I'm like...
What game?
Yeah, I was just like, guys, your game has been going forwards way longer than it should have. Like...
Well, they're all losing AOS rules, so it's literally just for Underworlds you have those models. So suddenly the sales will drop.
Yeah.
And then you won't see them being bought for anything other than proxies.
So... See, like, I got told this by playtesters after I got kicked out of playtesting Underworlds. But basically, if you were over COVID, the reason all the Underworlds releases for season 4 was put like basically month after month instead of over the year is because apparently the game was borderline about to be cancelled. So they would like just get it all out, and then it made a ton of sales because of the vampire team saved the game, and
because those models were just glorious, right?
They become Archons, 4 different Archons. Age of Sigmar just uses them as 4 different vampire generals. Like
Old World.
Yeah, Old World. They're just very flexible. But right, look at the latest box. Who even cares? What is it? It's like Stormcast, humans parodying. I don't know.
Lightning cultist people.
But what are they fighting against? I don't even. Ghouls. Yeah, ghouls. And I'm just like
ghouls. The only ghouls I like are ones that dress like cowboys. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just like. If I was an Underworlds and Warcry player, I'd be terrified, right? Well, I wouldn't be terrified now. It's just like, you've lived longer than you should have in terms of, like, you just enjoy your game. Just don't think about the future.
Warcry's fine. It's just a shame that they just seem to be getting rid of some of the older teams and some of the newer teams, like Horns of Hashut came out a year and a bit ago.
They're not for sale anymore. I was just like, what?
Nope. So to me, that says it's nothing to do with how they're sold. It's a case of them going, we need to remove SKUs off the range to then have less stuff to constantly be keeping in stock.
Yeah, because I know the Warcry warbands sold really well just for Chaos in general.
They were always selling out. Like, so all the cultist ones, like the Splintered Fang, they were really good in Age of Sigmar. So as soon as they sold out, they never came really back for months on end. So to me, that says sales was never the issue. So it has to be the other angle.
Yeah, so. Which is, I mean,
a shame.
Yeah, I mean, more concerning for Underworlds. Like, the weirdest thing is those are still going to be enforced even though they get cut out. I'll just catch up with chat. I still think Pathfinders suck. I mean, they do. No one should play Pathfinders. I do not want to. I do want to pass on my knowledge. Everyone should just enjoy not playing Pathfinders. I bought Blood Bowl minis for Eternatus Scops in my Seraphon. Oh yeah, the Blood Bowl Seraphon look great. Amazons. Yeah. I'm waiting for the mummies to come back. When they do Blood Bowl mummies, I'm back.
They've got mummies.
No, not new mummies. You know, like the Tomb Kings. Like they'll come back.
Yeah, the Khemri team. They only had that briefly for like an actual while.
They'll come back. Mummies.
Yeah, they might. They might.
I bought I bought Scions of the Flame last year and was very upset when I thought they were moving. Yeah, Scions like literally fired. They're in Aquashi, like Akshi or whatever. Don't get me started on Warcry warbands. Yeah. Adam's literally got a Dark Oath army planned, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just going to use all my Underworld or my Warcry warbands because he's got them all." Yeah, that army's getting replaced by a new box set. Well, that's the weirdest thing. Oh, we have now solidified our view on Chaos Mortals. I was like, what? You spent 4, 5, 6 years introducing really cool Chaos concepts, and you're just like, oh, now they're all just one group. And I'm like, what? But that's pretty much it for the spice. I mean, obviously you got custodians, and if you're upset about female custodians, just go away. Like, there's...
You are not going to be missed.
Yeah, it's just like people like, it's a violation. My favorite meme for that was like, are you a male or female? I'm a Custodes. Like, well, what gender are you? I'm Retribution. It's like, what's in your pants? Like, Fury for the Emperor. It's just like, it was just like, this is just ridiculous. The Goonhammer review on that is the best article I've read in like, amazing. Like, that was the best article. You know, and I think that like it's so much gold. I've never seen a codex. Like, this is the weird thing with 40k. Codexes, like, you always have good and bad codexes, but like the good codexes are basically mostly okay or spikingly good, and then the bad codexes have just been disappointing. The Custodes codex just feels like it was written for a different game. Like,
no, I think it's because it plays in a different way now to how everyone's used to playing it. I think people will adapt. They just need to get over being told that it's disappointing.
It's just weird. Like, my only thing is, I think they did it really lazily. I'm happy they did it, but it's like, you had the Blade Captain. Why don't add multiple heads there, or add like an upgrade spear, like something like that? Like, you know, just like the way they did it, very lazy. But it's like
that new captain could have been a new character.
Yeah. Like,
with their head showing. But no.
This is the weird thing. Whatever. Like, so this branches into kill team, because one kill team I would love to see is for Custodes, and
all 3 models.
No. So you'd have 5 Custodes, and they would be, you know, the Custodes who get too old. They're called like it would be 5 of those guys. So you could have them all have a free up save because they don't have as much Custodes armor. But they're more like...
They have no armor.
Yeah, so like give them a free up save, but they all have 18 wounds, 3 APL, 4 APL or whatever, and then they're just, they all operate like Eyes of the Emperor or whatever, and they just all operate individually because their role fits a kill team really well because they don't they're the scouts, effectively. They're their eyes and ears. They do like shadow operations.
I would do slightly different. I'd do 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
And then mandatory, you have 3 or 4 sisters. And you do Talons of the Emperor.
Yeah.
Because that's how it should work.
Yeah, I'd be down
Makes
for that
sense,
as
right?
well. Old Custodies,
Yeah,
Custodies, yes. The old Sodies. Yeah, there we go. I keep forgetting their name. Like, it has a really cool name. Oh, wow, there's a lot of talk about Warcry. I feel your pain, guys, don't worry. Eyes of the Emperor. I knew I was right. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's the scale.
Yeah, where they go off in robes rather than their armor. The armor goes into the hall of whatever it's called, where it basically just gets kind of shelved.
Oh yes.
I remember reading that in the 8th edition book when I used to read the narrative before it became copy pasta.
Is the narrative still just copy pasted?
Normally, and then an extra paragraph at the end, and you're like, cool, thanks.
That's so disappointing.
Sorry, there's near enough a whole page in the Orc Codex about Captain Badrock.
Wait, what? He's gone. They killed him. Does he die in the paragraph?
Yeah. It's like Talon Masters and Strike Masters in the Dark Angels book. There's narrative about them. They don't exist anymore. So never say never.
It's okay. They'll come back. It's like...
They'll come back.
It's fine.
Just got to get a pint of milk from the garage.
It's just like... Okay.
It's fine.
They could be like an Inquisition warband. One eye using it. No, we don't. I get where you're coming from. I just get flashbacks of danger every time someone says Inquisition. Yeah, the one thing I need to work on is like intro music. You know. Anyway. Okay. What episode am I on Critcast? So this is 35. All right. Greetings and welcome to Critcast episode 35, where we're going over the Pathfinder kill team. If you're watching live on YouTube or watching back on YouTube, this will also be up as a podcast. If you're on the podcast, you have missed all the 15 minutes of pre-ramble and stuff and talking about lovely other stuff.
You did not miss anything.
It's fine. But yeah, today we're going over Pathfinders, a topic I've been requested for years to cover. And then, Scrivo was the one who requested it. So you guys owe Scrivo this, because it's not I don't enjoy, what do you call it? It's not I don't enjoy going over Pathfinders. It's like, if you've watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, basically Colonel Mustang,
Weep.
Anyway, and it's a good story. He knows, like, precision fire alchemy, effectively, combustion alchemy. And he's like, it's so dangerous, I can never pass it on. Like, the knowledge dies with me. And I think for the health of the game, that's why I've been doing this, because they're really good again. So we'll be going over that. But before I introduce Scrivo, because I'm really horrible at this. I've got 2 events coming up. So I've got one in May, 11th and 12th, Dark Sphere 2-day event, up to 64 players. And then at the 22nd and 23rd of June, my golden ticket event at the Goonhammer Open for Kill Team, up to 64 players. 2 days will be streamed. The winner will get a wrestling gold Goonhammer belt, as well as £200 to £300 towards their golden ticket. And there's going to be tons of prizes for everyone. And me and Scrivo will be streaming it. So it'll be fun. We'll be live in person. Like we've done we did Thunderworlds, but never streamed. So it should be cool. But
yeah, because I was the TO then,
yeah.
So the tables have turned.
Yeah, I'm the TO. I'll be like, does this work, John? No, because I said so. But Scrivo, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been not bad. I'm on holiday this week because I've just come back from Ireland.
Ireland. They had a big kill team tournament there 3 weeks ago, I believe.
Oh, good. Well, they also hosted Home Nations for 40k over the weekend, so I was there, leading Team Wales to the Wooden Spoon. So good fun.
It's okay. Is there most sporting at Worlds?
No.
Okay.
There is just winning.
Okay. Well, is it?
Yeah, but it was great exercise and kind of a lot of learning. It was very good fun. And it's true, Guinness is better, fresh and lovely over there.
Well, I actually like Guinness, and I've always been encouraged to drink fresh Guinness. And it's like, I do want to go there. Like, that'd be good.
It was very, very nice.
Well, because this was basically practice for World Team Championships, right? WTC.
Yes. So it was a hybrid team. So there was 3 of our starting lineup plus 5 other people, including myself. So it was a good mixture. So it meant that we had people getting some new experience. And obviously some of the other guys will be able to feed off of our information that we kind of pass on to them as well, which is really pretty good.
Yeah, because the cool thing is, like Team Warhammer is, I think, the best way to play. It's the most fun, right? And it's oddly the most balanced because instead of relying on one team and one player, well, one faction, one player,
Yeah.
bad factions get better in team format because now they can purely be used to counterpick. But
Yes. So it's that whole mini game. The pairings sort of system makes a whole different experience, which is great fun.
yeah, I liked your pairing cards. They look pretty cool. I assume Wales had the best pairing cards.
Yeah, most were just like things that just had the name of the faction written on them with like a symbol. Ours were hand drawn by me on Friday because
Oh wow!
I just like doing that. So it's just a good laugh.
Yeah, because remember you
Sat there with my markers getting all high. It was great.
Okay. Well, you can find Scrivo's done all my art. Like he's great. He's done the logo, all of that stuff, and you can find Scrivo on Scrivo art, and like you can use them for commissions. Where can we find you, Scrivo?
So I've just put in the chat the link because every time you ask me, I'm like, a web address.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's my kofi.com/John Scrivens.
Cool.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at this self-promotion
Me
malarkey,
too.
right?
Me too. I've learned a lot
Right.
from my GW times. No, because the interesting thing is, I think team format is really cool, but also WTC is going to host Kill Team for the first time this year.
Yes.
So
Is that going to be Teams format as well?
yes, but I know you guys have 8 players on your team, right?
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
have
we do
enough.
8-man teams.
We don't have. We're not big enough yet, so we're doing 5. Hopefully, we can do 8 next year.
Yeah, 5 makes sense. 4's too small to actually get a proper pairings.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. The only issue is we've got each country is allowed 2 teams, which has caused a bit of.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how you name them, so it's not just like this is the A team,
Yeah.
this is the B team.
Oh no, the other country's just like A
classic.
and B, and I'm just like.
Can we call ours like North and South and make it a proper divide?
It's like, yeah, it's like, well, to be fair, because even though there's a lot of a global, there's people playing across the UK.
Yeah.
We're calling ourselves Team UK this year because I wouldn't play on Team England. And basically the Welsh, Scottish and Irish scenes aren't big enough yet. So we're doing just a Team UK. And then if the game grows more, then we can like do Team
It
England.
can split off,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Because at the moment, I think Spain, France, and Australia have 2 teams, and then it's like the UK should have 2 teams. America is like making a team. It's going to be very interesting because it's like America is huge. So yeah.
Ziggy said in the chat, just call it lions and cubs. Let's just call them bears and flipping otters and be done with it.
Yeah, or the dragons and everyone else they carry. Because the only other new Kill Team release, because we've been away for a while, is Kill Team Termination. Right, I find Termination a very weird name. Someone got very upset, like I mentioned that, and I was just like, come on, why not just like
Coat hanger.
I know, right? Exactly. It was fucking. Anyway,
Awful.
The Jaegers. I just every time I hear Jaeger, I'm like either Jägermeister or like Pacific Rim, and
I knew you were going.
Yeah,
There.
I like how they gave the team with 4 inches of movement their main weapon are shotguns or knives. So it's just like, yeah, that's what this faction needed. They gave up their bikes for. Apparently they're the stealthy Votan, which is why they wear stealth trench coats with fur. Right,
but that's because they're the vanguard unit that goes out forward on their bikes and then just skulks around, which I feel like they were a thing that was made because the army's missing a unit for that role.
Yeah,
more than it being needed as a kill team.
Yeah, I mean, like the funny thing is, I know people would say this is too crazy. They all should have had hoverboards, just full hoverboards, just like. Just give them hoverboards. It would have been so cool. Just be like,
or unicycles. If you're going to go real silly.
Yes, unicycles. Yeah, like what were they called? The Step Masters or whatever. I just have them on some zooming across. The annoying thing which annoyed me about Jaeger. So the cool thing Games Workshop did with the Adepticon preview was they showed over the teams that are they had the developers talking about the teams. The Jaeger sounds like they have the scout ability, but how it should have worked because they can use it at the start of the game, and during the game, and during opponent's activation, so you can react. And I was just like, wow, you just took the scout rule and just made it better. Scouts are just like, Poppy, what have we done? I thought you loved us. Like, you've just literally redone your work but better, which is fine. Like, it's a much better way to use that system. But I'm like, scouts are just going to be like...
We've had that a few times, though, where a rule's kind of being replaced by a slightly better version, but for another team, though.
Yeah, but never, like, their core mechanic. This, like, if I was a scout player, like, if I main scouts, I would just be like, what? And then, look, right, some people got worried about my reaction to the Brood Brothers kill team. But look, they gave me a big daddy patriarch, right? Not even just like a Magos. They gave us an effectively a brood lord, right? And then the rules for him just sound disgusting. He can activate twice, so he's probably going to be 3 APL, 16 wounds, right? He's going to...
Or is he going to be 2, do you think, because he activates twice?
No, he'll be 3 APL. It's too big. Because it depends how much he costs to run in terms of operatives he don't run. But they were like, oh, he's fine. Like, he activates twice. He's a psyker. He can control enemy operatives so they can, like, move. So it's like, oh, yeah, I just make people charge me, right? And it's just like... Or, to make it balanced, if you don't take him, you can take the Primus and the Magos. And I was just like,
No.
And I was just like, look, you already had me at Giant Gene Stealer, right? It's technically Kill Team's only official Tyrannid, right? And then you were like, he can activate twice and control people. Which is just going to be like, yeah, he's good, but I would take the Magos and Primus all the time. So it's either he's going to be broken and they're like, you'll never pick anything else, or he's going to be trash and you always pick the Primus because he gives you +1 CP, and then the Psyker is going to have a ton of psychic abilities. But I believe the team is going to be like Cadians with the Gene Stealer car upgrade sprue. And I think you're going to get either 4 other operatives, so either 4 normal troopers. Like, worst case scenario, you either get the Primus and the Magos, or the Patriarch, or you drop one of them. And the moment you can just only drop one of them to take the Patriarch, I'm just like, okay, so I'll take the Primus to give me +1 CP and the Giant Gene Stealer. Like, I'm terrified. Like, especially with Nightmare, I feel like we're entering Kill Team power creep, and
it's the end of edition. Let's just go a bit bonkers, right?
Kinda. So the way I would describe it, Kill Team is starting to become like 40k 7th edition, where I appreciate they're pushing the narrative really well. Like, teams feel incredibly thematic, but it feels like they're pushing the narrative over gameplay balance. Like, I remember one of my good friends who was talking like publicly about when he was writing the Elder Codex, where he's like, are you sure you want me to make them D-weapons? Like, well, they're D-weapons in the background in the narrative, so just make it 40k. And then you had like 20 Wraithguard eliminating the entire board. I was just like, I feel we're there now. Not in terms of like in terms of crazy brokenness, but they're focusing now too much on how a kill team should feel and with its narrative. And it's just like, that was...
Maybe they're not getting as much attention because they're already working on the next stuff.
Well, the next edition's done. Like, it's...
Well, you know what I mean? Like, they're working on the next bits for it, rather than it just being like, there's no point going and spending too much time in something that's not going to have much play for more than a couple of months, right?
Well, this is the interesting thing, because with balance, so the Salvation team should have gotten some buffs, especially the Scouts. And then I was discussing with, like, one of my other friends who's like a TO, and they were like, if the new edition is still going to drop, it's going to drop this year, but if it drops in the original time frame of like August, September, maybe we won't get any balance changes for season 3. Like, why would you? So it'll be interesting. I'm still hopeful, but based on Nightmare, I'm incredibly worried. So it's not like we're in a broken meta. I'm just like, how much further are they going to go?
A little bit more unhinged.
Yeah, it only takes one just like, this really feels really cool. And then it's just like, oh no, what have we done? But that's all the news for Kill Team. We've covered it all up. There was a big leak of rumors and stuff, but Kill Team and Blood Bowl and Necromunda are all fine because they weren't mentioned at all. So they're clearly doing amazingly well, and I actually do believe that because I keep buying Necromunda models to run as Kill Teams. So, and then Blood Bowl just funds itself. So, and Kill Team's doing well. So, but let's...
Yeah, it's great for 40k kits.
Yeah, exactly. But let's get into the Pathfinder guide. So Pathfinders, once again, this is just going to be a guide. Like if you want a full rundown, I did a review on them, so most of it's still the same. But Pathfinders are an interesting team. So they, for their strengths, right? Wait, so who are the Pathfinders? So they are, how many operatives? They were 13 operatives, but they're now 12 operatives because they used to be 13. And then someone helped show that was not good for balance. So they were changed to 12 operatives, but they're effectively the first and only Tau kill team because Crew are now their own thing. So Farstalker Kinband don't count. They're like, especially in kill team, they keep reminding us that the Farstalker Kinband are just pirates. So they don't really, they work for anyone, not just Tau. And they were also the first expansion for Kill Team, right? They were released after Octarius.
Yeah, Chalnath.
They've had a very interesting history. They are a very, how would you describe it? Everyone loves talking about this faction, right? They have a strong history. And yeah, they are effectively a quite squishy team, technically, and they have no melee operatives. Well, they do, but you'll see. So, Pathfinder strengths, they are a 12 operative kill team. They used to be 13, so 12 operatives is really good. They have 12 activations. That is like the max. When they were 13 activations, it was ridiculous, right? They had the most activations in the game, but they're tied for the most activation, which is really good. They have a key ability called Markolites. You will notice I have the book, but I don't need the book. It's just there in case, because most of it's invalid now. Well, not most of it. So Markolites are a fun system. In the compendium, it's an action to put a Markolite, and you have to have the Markolite keyword to do the action, and you pick someone visible. So already you can probably see where this is going. So the problem with visibility is because Kill Team doesn't use silhouettes, and it doesn't, Games Workshop in general, their games have gone away from saying, because remember in 40k it was like, oh, if you wanted to shoot at someone, you needed to be able to see something part of the model, like the head, arm, backpack doesn't count, coat, like weapons, and then they were just like, anything counts.
Yeah.
Same for Kill Team. So you can Markolite someone's toe, someone's knee, someone's cape, someone's banner, someone's tip of their sword. You can
just make it base. Just make it base.
Yeah, as long as you can see any part of the model, you can Markolite them. So if you plan to play Pathfinders regularly, I highly recommend getting a laser sight. Like Army Painter do one, which is just a laser dot. You will need it because, to be fair, people will go, how can you see me? And then you go like, well, if I move here and shine this laser dot from my model's head, I can see you. And then they just go, oh yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
And
you're bending the light, John.
You can't Markolite people in combat while you're in combat, but you can still Markolite someone if they're in combat, which throws tons of people off, right? And I'm building up, don't worry. So remember with Markolites, they work off of visibility, and you can still Markolite people in combat. You just can't Markolite them while you're in combat. It's a huge important thing. Then Markolites have stacking effects. So a Markolite is discarded at you lose one at the end of every turning point, but they stack. So if someone has one Markolite, the Pathfinders get balanced when they shoot them, so they get to reroll 1 dice. If you have 2 Markolite tokens on you, the Pathfinders, all Pathfinders by the way, every time they shoot at this operative, they have no cover as well as a reroll. If they have 3 Markolite tokens, they also get +1 to hit. All right, so they'll be going from hitting on 4s to hitting on 3s, or if they hit on 3s, hitting on 2s. If they have 4 Markolites, you ignore obscuring just completely. So the moment they are not anywhere safe and you can see any part of them, it leads to hilarious situations. So when I was playing Pathfinders a lot, I was playing a lovely guy from France called Remy, and he had a intercession captain, right? Used the Black Templar model, so he does sword high in the air. And I was just like, you're engaged, right? And he was like, yes, but I am obscured from, I'm like so far deep into this heavy terrain. I'm completely obscured. And I was like, yes, you are. And I was like, you have 4 Markolites on you? And he was like, yes. And I was like, remember, because I have 4 marker lights on you, I now ignore the obscuring. So I killed this intercessor captain by shooting his sword. Because all I could see here was his sword. But because he had 4 marker light tokens, he was now no longer obscured. So I killed him to death by shooting his sword, right? And then if you get 5 marker lights, so this has changed from the book. If they have a conceal order behind light cover, they count as being engaged. Now, for the longest time, this worked against anything. So unless they had super conceal, if someone was concealed, even behind heavy cover, once you got 5 marker light tokens on them, they were dead. This time it only works against light, but imagine if they released a kill zone where, unless you're using someone's map pack, the only cover is light barricades. Anyway, so as we've covered, 5 marker lights is incredibly painful. And you may go, right, marker lights, wow, that sounds quite a lot. And I was like, yes. But it's probably balanced because every time you do a marker light, it's just one action. One action to put 1 marker light. That sounds not very efficient for action economy. And you're like, you're right, because technically you would need 5 operatives to get 5 marker lights on someone, but you get an amazing piece of equipment called the high intensity marker light for 2 EP. So every time you marker light someone, you give them 2 marker light tokens. So with 2 operatives, you effectively mock someone for death. And then you can also take the equipment targeting optics, that when they shoot at someone, they count as their marker light counter being higher. So yeah, and the problem is these marker lights will stick, and an operative will lose a marker light token at the end of every turning point. So what you like to do is overstack the marker lights. So you have to remember, the moment someone moves into the open, as long as they have 3 marker light tokens, they're dead. So I like double marker lighting someone. So going into turning point 2, if they suddenly go first activation, oh, I'm going to move out to kill one of your guys, I'm like, cool, you have 3 marker light tokens, you're dead. Now I can marker light someone else and quickly start my kill chain. So marker lights are really powerful and they require a lot of setup, but you've also got like the high intensity marker lights. If you take the marker drone, that has another high intensity marker light, so you can quickly light stuff up, and you basically spend turning point 1 marker light stuff. That was marker lights. So then we come onto their basic guns. So all Pathfinders hit on 4s unless they're very special. And the problem, the best thing is anyone else edging right now. What the so the thing about Pathfinders, their guns are unlimited range, 4-5 damage. So their melee is rubbish. They have 3 attacks hitting on 5s, 2 free. But with Pathfinders, you don't need melee. Your melee is guns. You fire fists at people effectively because your 4-5 damage reliably kills most stuff in the game in 3 hits. Right, the only big problem they had with Intercession, because Intercession had 15 wounds, so that was a lot to get past, right? So your basic guns, right? I have had basic Pathfinders murder things no basic trooper should be able to. That's just your basic guns. You've got the Blooded who hits on 3s, so when they're marker lighted, they hit on 2s, and then you can take 2 rail rifles or 2 ions. So ions are, well, let's do rails first. Everyone loves rails. Rail rifles are 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, lethal 5 up, 4/4 for every crit you do 2 mortal wounds, AP1, right? And then you can either take those or 2 ions. Ions are 5 attacks, hitting on 4s, 4/5 P1, or you can overcharge them to make them go to 5 attacks, hitting on 4s, 5/6 AP1 gets hot. I am an ion man, right? Because statistically, if you roll 5, if you're overcharging your ions, they will outperform rails. But rails don't need you to overcharge, and there are matchups where you would use the rails. Like, rails are now great into commandos because they guarantee lethal hits. They're great into stuff with invons, 8 wound operatives. Really good. But like literally marker lights. Everything you should be shooting at as Pathfinders should have 3 or more marker lights, and with that, ions are just better. But it's up to you. I'm an ion man. I like living dangerously, so I just like, are you going to overcharge? It's like, of course, of course. The team also has lots of rerolls. A good railing. Oh my gosh. So not only do they have marker lights, they have a strategic ploy called Bonded. So as long as they are within blue of a friendly Pathfinder, not a drone, they get another reroll. So if you're shooting at someone who is marker lighted and you're next to someone who's bonded, marker lit, right? You get 2 rerolls, right? So even if you don't get the 3+ to hit, like +1 to hit, so you hit on freeze, you're going to have 2 rerolls every time you shoot. It doesn't work while you're within range of drones, so it has to be Pathfinder operatives. And then we get onto the marksman. So the marksman has a rail rifle that hits on freeze normally, both profiles. It has a silent profile, which is 4 attacks hitting on freeze. Free. How many more? I believe it's 2 mortal wounds. AP 1 silent. Let me just double check. Because I usually just use it going hot. So I forgot. It's like, they're like, oh, you use the silent profile. I was like, yeah, of course, sure. Yeah, I fire that silent. It's just like, it should, because he basically hits on freeze. Yeah, mortal wounds too. But the thing is, because he's silent, it allows you to apply pressure. And then also he can overwatch at full BS, which is fine. I mean, you never overwatch because you've usually shot everyone to death. And basically you will either have 3 rails or a rail and 2 ions. So that's, Cyril, have you given that anyway, I can't say that. So guns good.
This is what happens when we stream this late.
I know. And you have 3 operatives that have BS3 or more. So it's your blooded who hits on freeze, your leader who hits on freeze, and then your marksman hits on freeze. So they're shooting at someone to 3 or more arc lights, hitting on 2s. So you've got lots of rerolls, powerful shooting. And then we'll get onto mobility. So you get an Art of War once per game, as long as your leader's alive in the strategic phase. There's Kaon, but you never use Kaon. Kaon has some niche users now. It now lets you do a free mission action. Kaon. So the problem with Kaon is they've made it better, right? It's situationally interesting. Or you can pick Montcar, where as long as you have an engage order, you can do a free dash. So you pick Montcar all the time, usually turning point 2, but you can use it turning point 1 or turning point 3. It does require you keeping your leader safe, but the moment you've popped Montcar, your leader becomes the brave commander they were always destined to be. You could be like me and have your Pathfinder. My Pathfinder has killed 2 Marines in combat, and also another Pathfinder in combat, and has killed a Despotech in combat. But your Pathfinder Shazlar will maybe Shazui, sorry, will maybe be as good as mine one day. Shazui. But the key thing about this free dash, it synergizes a lot because you also have an ability called Recon Sweep, which is a strategic deploy. So as long as you're within red of the kill zone edges, and you're not only within red of your kill zone edge, you can do a free dash as long as you stay wholly within. So you can dash 3 inches in the strategic phase, then do a 3-inch dash with your Montcar, and then shoot. So you can move 12 inches in a single activation with multiple operatives, including your drones, right? And you also have a ploy. So that you have the way for dealing with combat is you can spend a CP to dash out of combat. So if you pop Montcar, you dash out of combat for free. So that just synergizes with Montcar. So you can just laugh out of combat. Someone go, I've pinned you. And you just go, oh, Montcar, dash away, die. And then you can also spend a CP to shoot in combat, shoot into someone in engagement range as long as they're within red of you. So you don't even care. Like, I've had people go like, I'm going to charge block you. I was like, oh, that's very good. What are you doing? I'm marker lighting you. It's like, why are you marker lighting me? Well, because you're in combat. It's like, no. What are you doing? I just walk within 2 and just like walk within 6 inches. Just spend a CP for delete them. Can we have a skin fade tier list? What? Anyway, so you basically have tons of mobility, tons of tricks, and we've got the drones, right? The drones. So you can take a selection of drones. Best one is the best 3 are the gun drone, marker drone, and now the recon drone. I like the shield drone, right? But those are the 4 drones you should always use, but you only take 2 now. The recon drone is crazy. So currently, as the time of recording this, you drop, what do you call it? He drops, the recon drone used to be 2 operatives to take, now it's only 1. Most drones are 7 wounds with a 4-up save. Your recon drone is 12 wounds with a 4-up save. So he already has 5 more wounds. He has a chain gun, so it's effectively 6 dice hitting on 4s. Sitting on 4s, 3/4 ceaseless heavy. So it will get reroll 1s. But the key thing about the recon drone, if you pick it, it gives you a free dash. So you can do a free dash at the end of the strategic phase. So you get more movement. But it can also do a thing where basically for an action point, it picks an enemy visible operative and then a friendly visible operative. That friendly visible operative gets relentless against the enemy operative, and then you can, so you don't have to, you can then immediately group activate. So you can suddenly go, especially if this recon drone is free APL, you can dash or with Montcar, dash for free, do your shoot action, like dash onto a vantage point, because all your drones have fly, and then you can pick someone, usually your grenadier, and then, or even one of your gunners, and they just move up and kill someone else with relentless. So you get the option to do 2-for-1s, well, 2-for-2s. So you activate 2 operatives to kill 2 of your opponent's operatives before they deal with you. Like, it's just super flexible. And then you also have a worthy cause, which is 2 CP. Once a game, if you are on an objective or within blue of an enemy operative, you activate at the start. You activate first at the start of the turning point. So you can play super ballsy at the end of turning point, 1 or 2, because you're always guaranteed to go first, even if you lose the initiative roll. And there's no way around that, unless you play Inquisitor agents who will spend 1 CP to stop it once per game. There's a lot, right? And this is the problem, because people, I talk about them, lots of other competitive players say Pathfinders are crazy good, but it doesn't really reflect in, what do you call it? It doesn't really reflect in the stats, although recently they've been doing a lot better. I mean, there's a 40k team that's like army that's similar, right? I guess it would be like Tyranids are kind of, you have so much, you have to learn like the order you do stuff to set up for the kills, which I think there's 40k armies who do that, right?
There's some sequencing stuff, but not quite to that extreme.
Yeah.
You kind of have that with Tau in 40k, with making sure that you've got spotting and spotters and guided, and making sure it's done in the right order, because otherwise you can end up just shooting stuff and not being guided, which makes the army a whole lot less efficient as well. So
yeah, because they like the biggest problem is just sequencing and stuff. But that's their strengths. Like the other, I'll get to the other operatives. There's so much to cover with this kill team. Weaknesses. So everyone, apart from your drones, is only 7 wounds with a 5-up save. So you're incredibly fragile. Your blooded has a 4-up save, but that's literally the best. Your drones have 4-up saves, but it's just, you know, not amazing. So you're actually incredibly fragile. You do have no melee, right? Your best melee is technically your leader, because your leader has 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, 3-4 balanced. Your blooded also is 3-4 because of their fist. They have a bionic arm, and every time you fight, you do have to say bionic arm before you roll your dice. Like if you've played Bionic Commando, you will understand. Yeah. Like bionic arm. It's Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Also, the biggest problem this kill team has is actually sequencing, but also deciding when to kill and when to mark a light. Because the main dilemma this kill team will have is, do I go for the points or do I mark a light? Because a lot of people either go too heavy on scoring the primaries and then don't have enough marker light support for killing, or go too heavy on the marker lights and focus only on killing, and then remember they're playing recon, right, which doesn't benefit killing too much. So you are great at killing, but if you get carried away too much, it actually doesn't synergize with your scoring, because by the time you have wiped everyone out, you're probably going to be quite behind. And then the other downside is they only have recon. Recon is the best tack-up archetype, but recon is actually a good balancing for them, because I imagine if this kill team had Seek and Destroy, it would just be like, oh, I've maxed everything again. I've wiped you out. I've scored everything. So they're fragile. They require a lot of depth and sequencing to play. And then also you can get punished for going too hard on your killing. And then it's also like drone selection, because generally, because you now only have 10 specialists and then 2 other spare slots. Before, when you had 13 operatives, you would take you'd either take 2 drones and a Shazlar, or 3 drones. Now, if you want to take a 3rd drone, you'd have to drop an operative, right?
You don't really want that, do you?
No, so you generally stick with 10 operatives. Like, I forgot to bring up the Transspectral Pathfinder, but this kill team ignores so many obscuring, it's just like a general thing. I need this guy up with Inquisitor Agents. Inquisitor Agents later. So that's their weaknesses, right? So, like, as I said, the main problem I see people have with this kill team when playing them is they get their sequencing wrong. Some of them don't even realize marker lights just work off visibility, which is why I've been really key on visibility, because it does feel horrible, but unfortunately that's the way the game works, right?
And if you're early enough into your kind of gauging how the basic core mechanics work, it can be quite oppressive, because I found it as an example when Adam and I were first playing, the guy I play with a lot, I still wasn't clicking with how visibility worked.
Yeah.
And he had, and then he had the marker light stuff. So it was just like double downing on it, and it was just like, oh god, this is very uninteractive for me. And it was just because I hadn't clicked that I just needed to not be at all visible, which is quite challenging if you're playing something that wants to be close.
Well, and the biggest thing, if you're playing into Pathfinders and you are not touching cover, what threw a lot of people off against playing me is because normally people don't want to touch cover because they want to have the ability to move around it. So they'll stay with like half an inch, so they are in cover, but they can just easily move out. What people don't realize is when a Pathfinder suddenly moves 9 to 12 inches, they can get you at an angle where if they were coming head on, you are in cover, but they are now like at a right angle to you. So they can now get a shot. So you somewhere where you thought you were safe, even behind heavy cover, like it's, what do you call it? It's just, that's the biggest feel bad, which is kind of a downside. Yeah. Like people don't enjoy playing against this kill team because can be incredibly oppressive because you can literally just move and dash and go like your opponent just goes, I thought I was safe. But because when you're playing against most kill teams, you don't actually want to tuck in because, as I said, you want to have that ability to go, I've staged myself for turning point 1 so that I can move around onto the objective. And then all of a sudden you've just had this like Pathfinder zoom down the flank and just go like, psh, and just murder you. And you were just like, but I was in cover. So it's like, it's a problem. It's partly why I don't want to play the kill team anymore. Cause it's just like, it is very unfun. It
can be quite hard to trade back at it, I found. So once they start rolling, you start running out of resources and then you just can't hit them back hard enough.
Yeah.
And even in combat, it does surprise me sometimes that a Pathfinder can actually slap back. If the dice roll a bit more favorably, they can take out something.
Yeah, it's like, normally I don't include this because we cover a lot of powerful kill teams, but Pathfinders, I think Pathfinder's the only kill team I've played where people just get upset. Like, not at me, but just because at the kill team, because it's so uninteractive with the mechanics. It warps how you play a normal game of kill team, which is hard. I think like the closest comparison currently, even though they're not as extreme, are Felgor Ravagers. And it's just something to keep in mind. Like I'm always like, if we've got problematic mechanics or teams, it is down to Games Workshop and you don't blame the player. Like as long as you're like a nice human being, everyone has a fun time. But it's like, there are limits, right? And I think this is something to bring up because it's weird. It's not like, oh, if you play like Tau in general, I hated a lot in Warhammer because of how they generally play, because they fall so hard on shooting, they will just like delete people. So it's something to keep in mind. But they are a flawed yet incredibly powerful kill team. So
just a bit one-dimensional, right? That's the way to kind of express them, I think.
Yeah. So before we get into like their combination and tactics, we'll talk about how to collect. So this is a weird kill team where the standard Pathfinder kit, because you can still buy the Pathfinder box and the Pathfinder kill team.
Yeah. So you can get this box or the one that doesn't have the upgrade sprue, but essentially it's got all the bits in the normal kit, right? Just about?
Yes. So what you can do, you can effectively kit bash most of the specialists, or pretty much all the specialists from a normal Pathfinder box. But it is easier if you buy the kill team upgrade. And I think the kill team upgrade is only £5 more expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. But I didn't buy a second box. I eBayed my bits to get, like, I'm going to use bit sites. Because ideally, you do want effectively 1.5 boxes because you want your 10 specialists, right? So it's your leader, your medic, your grenadier, your transspectral Pathfinder, your comms, your drone controller, your marksman, your blooded, and then you've got 2 gunners. So you can either have 2 ions or 2 ray rifles. You get 3 in the kit. And then you can build 2 normal drones and a recon drone. So what I had, because I built all the drones, you need to order 1 more drone kit. You can magnetize it, but I find it too fiddly because the way they sit on the base, but it's so small, it just makes them fall apart. So you can magnetize it, but you would need, if you want a full roster, you will effectively need 2 extra Pathfinder bodies, 3 to 4 if you want to run Shazlas, so normal Pathfinders, right? And then, so you can have 2 rail rifles, 2 ions. If you are just going off of 1 box, you can go 2 rails. I prefer ions, but if you just want some consistency, you don't like rolling hot, you, what do you call it? Yeah, you just take 2 rails. But if you wanted a full roster, you would need to order 2 more bodies. Well, actually, this is the weird thing. Because you get enough legs or bodies, you just need to get a top. And then you can actually... So you don't actually need to order the full bodies. That was the weird thing I found. Because you get a lot of spare legs in this kit. Yes. Which is weird. Because
it's the torsos are missing.
Yes. Yeah. So you would actually need to order 1 torso and then probably like 2 extra Pathfinder bodies. Because you get so many spare weapons. So that's the annoying thing, right, to collect, but it's just, yeah. But it's not actually that hard to collect, and I think the only problem is just finding the bits, because it was easier back before the new edition of Warhammer 40,000, because now people hold on to all their parts because they can use it all. I just started learning kill teams and started with Pathfinders, as now swapped to Phobos because they just killed everything really easy. Yeah. Hold on for a second. Where is it? And then just sorting. Okay. So that's how to collect, and now, oh gosh, we'll go on to like strengths and weaknesses. So, sorry, chat. I know it's going on a lot, but it's just like there's a lot of. I have to keep in the momentum because there's so much to cover with this team.
That's why I'll just sit and listen,
yeah,
and then I'll interject when I can.
So the main
without interrupting the flow.
I know. So the main thing is, as I said already, sequencing with your marker lights. You ideally want to run 4 high intensity marker lights with 2 climbing gear, or like 5 high intensity marker lights, and spend turning point 1 marker lighting, and then you have your support pieces marker lighting. Like usually put your high intensity marker lights. What I do on the leader, the medic, the drone controller, and usually the blooded, because the blooded likes giving 2 marker lights and then going from there. Yeah, there's a lot to Pathfinders. So key operatives, definitely your leader. As I said, you need to keep your leader alive until your leader's popped their Art of War. Then you can just be suicidal with your leader. Because as I said, once my leader's pop Montcar, your leader hits on freeze. When your leader activates, or when someone activates within their range, they can do a mission action for 1 AP less. So if someone has... I muted them, it's fine. If someone has +1 APL, like especially if your leader. So if your leader has +1 APL with Montcar, they can dash, do a free mission action, mark a light, and then shoot. So when they're hitting on freeze, they can suddenly jump to hitting on 2s with rerolls. So your leader's very oppressive there. If your opponent doesn't have any ways to ignore obscuring, your Transpectral is the best, because the Transpectral innately ignores obscuring. And when your Transpectral is on engage, they can give any enemy visible -1 APL. So you have ways to, like, if someone goes +1 APL, you just go -1 APL. Yep. So it's like super powerful there. And then your medic is actually one of your key operatives, because your medic effectively wins you, not just for shooting matchups, because even if you're against melee teams, your leader, I mean, your medic is just a normal Pathfinder, but can also heal Pathfinders. But it's so key to, what do you call it, in the shooting meta. So it's like when you're against teams like Vetguard, your medic will allow you to counterpunch. So let's say someone moves and dashes and then shoots someone like your leader. All of a sudden, your medic keeps them alive, and then you can counterpunish and disappear, especially if you still have Montcar activated. Because there's a weird thing with Kill Team where people don't like medics, and I can get why people don't like medics, but they're so essential, because then it forces for people to deal with your nest. Because when you set up your nest of Pathfinders, the only real way to kill them reliably is to charge them in melee.
Yeah.
So it's setting up that. And then your drone controller is really key to keep alive, because when your drone controller controls drones, they can do full mission actions. So, and they count as 2 APL on objectives. So you can have, like, the key thing is you need to remember to activate your drone controller after your gun or recon drone is activated. Because what you can do, because drones benefit from Montcar, your gun drone can move and dash, especially like second to last activation, shoot someone, and then you can activate the drone controller to make them shoot again at -1 BS. And the weird thing is, if they overwatch, they would be then at another -1 BS. So you can like shoot, overwatch, and then shoot again at -2 BS. So there's like, but generally, as I said, Pathfinders don't get overwatches unless something's gone wrong. No. But it's just double firing, because a lot of people forget when you suddenly have a drone with Montcar up who can do mission actions, all of a sudden, like, that's why I used to use the shield drone a lot, because I would switch the shield drone to engage. It would move and dash 9 inches across the board and steal an objective, or like pick something up, run away, like pick up, recover item, run 9 inches away. And then your opponent just goes, what? And especially with the recon drone, if you don't use its gun for shooting, it's still moving 9 inches. So it can just like dash 3, move 6, and then your opponent is suddenly gone like, you've just stolen that point from me.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. And then, as I said, you don't care about being charged, because you need to track how much CP you're keeping in stock, because you need to be able to have at least 1 CP spare a turn to either dash out of combat or shoot into combat. Because the moment you don't have any CP, that's when your opponent can bully you with charge blocking and stuff. So you have to keep that in mind. And then, yeah, it's just really marker lighting stuff correctly. I think the biggest problem you'll have turning point 1 is usually you keep your 2 gunners. So either your 2 rails. I mean, you can take a rail and an ion, but it's better just to double up. So you could do, what do you call it? You can have like, you usually have them on engage. But the problem is, I would actually use them, have one on engage, one on conceal, or depending on the map, if there's not enough cover, both of them on conceal, where they can do my mission actions, because you still have your blooded who can fire silent and your marksman. So it's not too bad when this kill team goes full conceal, turning point 1, because the biggest problem is, generally in kill team, you don't want to go full conceal turning point 1, because you technically have no ways to shoot back, but this kill team will technically have to. And the main strategy when you take the gun drone is your gun drone can forward deploy within red of your drop zone, as long as it's within an inch of heavy cover. Well, within an inch of cover, as long as you've taken the drone controller. So you usually take change order, because literally you either give the gun drone +1 APL, because drones can get +1 APL, or you can pop Montcar turn 1 for an early alpha strike, and then your gun drone moves 9 inches, gets within 2 inches of someone and shoots someone, and then you activate your drone controller as your last activation to make your gun drone shoot again. So especially when you're dealing with teams with 11 or less activations, you can just throw the gun drone away, knowing it's going to kill 1 to 2 operatives, and your opponent doesn't have a way to react, which is crazy, but that's how it works currently, unless they suddenly say drones can't get +1 APL or benefit from Arts of War. Which would make sense, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about doing different scouting options, and when I'm against teams like Vet Guards, I usually do. But the problem is, now you get the recon drone all the time. You've already got a free recon dash. I played at a tournament recently after not playing Pathfinders for like 18 months, where I just took infiltrate every game, just change order. I was like, my opponents let me go first every game, but it was like, they had to respect my threat range of the gun drone. Because another key thing with Pathfinders is you don't need to get into combat. If someone's stuck behind heavy cover with a conceal order, as long as you get within 2 inches of them, you can still shoot them. So that's why it's really important to set up your marker lights turning point 1. So turning point 2, when you go for your push, you can literally move and dash, get within 2 inches and shoot someone. Because it's a general thing I've also noticed in kill team. People really forget, as long as you get within 2 inches of someone, you can shoot them, because you ignore the cover because you're too close. And like, that's why you don't need melee. Your melee or your guns. So you just have that. And like, that's the general tactic. I think the other tactic is you either keep your Grenadier on engage or use your change order for your Grenadier, because if you give your Grenadier +1 APL turning point 1, they can move dash grenade someone, right? Because they have a fusion grenade or the EMP, but generally you're the fusion one. Or you activate your fusion Grenadier in such a way, like near the end of your first turning point, so they're on an objective, or within blue of an activated operative. So turning point 2, when you activate and you've popped Montcar, they can still just move and dash and then just delete stuff, because remember, you've got a worthy cause. So as long as your Grenadier is on any objective, you can just go like, oh, I didn't win initiative, 2 CP, now my Grenadier moves and dash 9 inches and just kills someone, right? You do have to remember a worthy cause doesn't work with your drones, so you can't anymore, because what we used to be able to do was activate the drone controller with a worthy cause, chain into the recon drone, who would then chain into like the Grenadier to give them relentless. So you can't do that anymore. But even if you're going first, you can activate the recon drone, who can just move, pick someone who's visible, pick the Grenadier, and then the Grenadier moves and dashes with Montcar to delete someone with relentless fusion grenade. So that's effectively all the combinations. Like, as I said, your goal is to make sure when you shoot at someone, they have 3 or more marker lights and you're within your bonded bubbles. So the cool thing is you're naturally going to be you want to be wide apart. So more than 2 inches apart, because most people are going to try and blast you. But that really benefits your play, because you're still going to be within bonded range of blue, but you now can't be blasted back. So it's really hard for your opponent to punish you, but you're getting better. Like, you have to position properly, but that's why it becomes so hard to punish this team from shooting. So yeah, and it's like, as I said, I generally marker light key enemy operatives with 4 marker lights. So going into turning point 2, they're on 3 marker lights if they try to push forward, or I push forward to them. So because the problem is you do need to basically invest in marker lights, but then when the marker lights kick off, it's just like crazy, like so good. And then I think, is there anything else I'm missing? Like drone controller, like there's a lot of layer of depth. Like it's really about spacing and target priority. And yeah, because the biggest problem I've seen people will risk shots on operatives with only 2 marker light tokens. And for me, that's a really bad investment. The moment someone's on 3 marker lights, remember, you're +1 to hit and you got a reroll and you ignore cover. So it's crazy. Like, it's so much benefit. I think the biggest problem I had when I moved away from Pathfinders is like, every time I attack, I'm used to having 2 rerolls. I don't have that anymore. And I'm like hitting on freeze. So, because if you look at core teams, like the best performing teams usually have ways to ensure hits or have ways to boost accuracy. Here's my Pathfinder guide: unbox them, build them, paint them, look at the mirror and wonder where it all went wrong. He's not wrong. I did one of my viewers, I asked my kids if I should play Pathfinders, and they said they would lose all respect for me if they did. And I was like, your kids know what they're talking about. Yeah. But literally, it does sound very boring, and it does take a lot to get under. Like, the biggest thing is timing. I had for a long time an issue with timing until I started playing on chess clocks, and then I was finishing games faster than elite players were, because it's just literally, you go, okay, move marker light, move marker light, move marker light, turning point 2, move dash kill, move dash kill, move dash kill. It gets very precision based, and the problem you'll have is you're so skewed to shooting. Like, Pathfinders are actually really good to pick up as a shooting team, because they teach you how to be really punishing with shooting. They teach you how to get angles on people, to go it makes you think more how to get shots than just going oh, I need to shoot you. You start thinking about, how do I mechanically get into a place to shoot you? So that's all the strengths, all the combos and stuff. It's very long, right? It's why it can be quite boring to play them after a while. And the other thing is, you have the choice when to put Montcar. So generally people put Montcar turning point 2, but I like popping at turning point 3, because especially if you spend turning point 1 and 2 marker lighting stuff, your opponent gets very terrified, right? Because they're just you're just putting all these marker lights on me. I'm like, yeah, I now have 6 of your operatives with 4 or more marker lights. And then
which just means they can't move any of those realistically to anywhere vaguely open.
Yeah, and then you just switch to and get you pop Montcar turning point 3, and then you just annihilate. But I learned this from Americans, because when I play in America a lot, the funny thing about Americans, they're very aggressive players in general. In terms, they love aggro, they love coming to you. Yeah. So they made me appreciate turning point 1 Montcar, because especially if there's not enough ways to stay safe in your drop zone. When you combine it with recon sweep, when all of a sudden like a gang of Pathfinders move 12 inches into your face and then just shoot you, you just go like, oh, most of my team was on in conceal.
Yeah, there's no reaction to that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of players lose that way, and it is unfortunate. Like maybe, well, the problem is Montcar is supposed to work early in the game, where like Kion is supposed to work later. So that's the issue. So, but yeah, that is all the Pathfinder stats. Like, I don't think I can add any more. Okay, so that's all the strats. I don't think the bad matchups. There we go, matchups.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's the important one, John. There we go. Got you there.
Bad matchups. So the worst matchup for them is Felgor Ravager. That is.
Yeah.
It's Felgor Ravager are currently a bad matchup for everyone, but it's specifically bad for Pathfinders because to kill a Felgor, when you kill them, they frenzy, and then when they're frenzied, unless you strike them twice in combat or with a crit, it takes a critical damage. So it's not even just rolling a critical hit. They need to fail the save so the critical damage goes through to kill them. And if they're within range of their gong, you're shooting at frenzied operatives and can never kill them. So you will take 3 rail rifles into Felgor because you have 3 sources of lethal 5-up, but it becomes a very hard matchup. It's only okay on Beta Decima because you literally dominate Beta Decima. No team can currently beat Pathfinders on Beta Decima because the ruling for visibility. So visibility is only blocked on Beta Decima when you check for line of sight, because that's how they worded it. If they just said the moment you check for visibility it's blocked, that's fine. But they said when checking for line of sight, if a line crosses a gantry, you are not visible. That means you can still mark a light, right? That is their worst matchup. Galapox can be a hard matchup if you can't shoot them or mark a light them turning point 1. Like that's why it's like really hard on Into the Dark. Into the Dark is a hard matchup. They have more tools for Into the Dark, so Into the Dark is okay now, especially if you're playing on like Dakota's asymmetrical LVO maps. They're great for Into the Dark, but even on a lot of their normal Games Workshop Into the Dark maps, they're like there's more shooting you can do. I cannot emphasize enough how awful it is. The ploy that gives them initiative is yeah, it's just crazy. But you're still weaker on Into the Dark, but it's mainly what was it? Felgor, Chaos, Galapox Infected. Chaos Cult can be bad, but it's more on Into the Dark. On Open, I don't think it's as bad because you can just stop them moving up because you're both 14 up. Well, they're 14 operatives, you're 12, but you have more ways to outshoot them. So you can always dance around them. Mandrakes are weird. I don't think Mandrakes are a bad matchup, but Mandrakes they mess up most of the kill teams. Elite teams can be a big problem for Pathfinders if you mess up your target priority or don't set up your marker lights, because it used to be really hard to deal with Intercession back when Intercession were really good because they can shoot on death and they have an Auspex, so they can pick someone and they don't count as obscured. So even if you went to kill someone, they'd be able to shoot you back. So there was this whole that was the whole dance. But even now, like if you're against Legionary, if you don't marker light them like sufficiently, and then they charge you and they only have like 2 marker lights on them, while you're still setting up to marker light, the rest of the team is just going to rush you down. So even though elites are very easy, because especially against elites you take mark enemy movements with just marker light people, which you max really quickly. It's you have to be careful around elites. I know it's like joked around a lot, but elites can really mess up Pathfinder players if they're not prepared. Hierotech Circle is a bad matchup if you're not prepared for it, but if you're prepared for Hierotech Circle, you will just destroy them. Like I played against one of our really good Hierotech players, and he was just like, "I've nanomined you," and this is before the nerf. So I was just like, "I put 5 marker lights on you, and I fired 2 ion rifles into you. You are now dead." And he was like, yeah, you just rolled 5 hits each time. I was like, "Yep, you are dead, and now you have 4 marker lights when you come back next turn." And it's just like, But if you bunch up too much and they get a nice move dash, their Chronomancer with a blast will just murder you. So you have to space out properly. Vet Guard is actually a really hard matchup. Vet Guard is fine for me because I literally play against Charles all the time. And we've played the Pathfinder Vet Guard matchup for like 2 years, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But it's a hard matchup because they have a medic, they have more bodies, they have more ways to be suicidal. Like they can just throw 4 guardsmen at you, one with a crack, one with a frag, and usually kill someone with the crack and then chip someone with the frag. And it's really hard to deal with. So it's a frustrating matchup, but you have to abuse obscuring. They abuse having more bodies than you. But the thing is, once they've lost their special gunners, one Pathfinder will just kill a normal guardsman. It will take 2 normal las guns to maybe kill a Pathfinder, because it's just like you just set up marker lights and just go. Like it's weird. Like because your basic guns are 4-5 damage. I've had normal Pathfinders just murder teams of veteran guardsmen just because they're like, okay, you've got 3 marker lights on you. I've got bonded, so I've got 2 rerolls, ignore cover, and hit on freeze. I've got 4 hits. And it's just like I've passed 2 saves. It's like, cool, you take 8 damage, you're dead. And they're just like, this is your normal guy. And I was just like, yeah, just my normal guy.
Yep.
Are there any other bad matchups? Not really, I think. I've covered them all. Blooded is fine. Kroot used to be a bad matchup until I remembered, oh wait, Kroot can't answer my gun drone. So you just like use the gun drone to kill 2 Kroot hounds and you're fine. Right, because Kroot were technically a good Pathfinder counter until we all realized Kroot just can't kill stuff. So, like, a basic Kroot will not kill a Pathfinder in combat. The mirror is also technically a bad matchup. No one enjoys the mirror. I have famously played the mirror a lot and resorted to fist fighting because no one expected it. It's just like, okay. That's how I won Nova. I was just like, okay, I've done that trick. I'm just going to charge you. And then my opponent was just like, what? It's just like, my shield drone killed 2 Pathfinders and my leader decapitated the other leader. Because I play Farsight Enclaves. So I was like, I am the true Pathfinder today. But the mirror is just like, it's completely unfun because you're both doing the same thing. So you're waiting for someone to make the wrong move, either not pushing up enough or someone in a place you can punish. And it's just like waiting for someone to make the first mistake. It's one of the worst mirrors in the game. I don't think there's any. Breaches can be a weird matchup, but now you just outrange them. It's fine. And like, yeah, as Reverend was saying in chat, there's no real counterplay to the Grenadier just sitting on an objective, end of turning point 1 going, ooh, no matter what, I'm going to go first turning point 2 and move 9 inches and then throw my 6-inch grenade to kill you. Nothing. But yeah, so overall Pathfinders are very fun. You know, I hope you're all proud that you made me do this. I didn't want to talk about Pathfinders, but it's here.
Well, we've got it out of the way now.
Yeah, it's they are deceptively hard to play. But once you've got your sequencing down and the order you do stuff in, it becomes quite formulaic and punishing. But then you have the downside of your opponents not enjoying it. Like, they are quite a toxic kill team to play because of how they push the limits of kill team shooting to the max. They're just a very polarizing team. Beta Decima in its current form doesn't even, like, it's a joke. Like, Pathfinder, like, even if you change the visibility rules so they can't mark a light, they just wait for you to go into the gantries and then just go, are you behind a barricade? Do you have super conceal? It's like, okay, nope. Okay, just mark a light. There we go. Everyone's dead. So it's just, and especially the worrying thing, people are moving to more open boards to try and balance out melee teams.
That's not the answer.
No, I mean, I would love it as a Pathfinder main to see people with hardly any safe drop zones, because people go, oh, if you only can have 8 operatives, like 6 operatives safe, or like 8 operatives safe, that's fine. I was like, or even some maps only allow 3 to 4 operatives safe. I'm like, if I play that map, my entire Pathfinders go and engage and just kill you. Like, at that point, I have no reason not to go engaged and pop Montcar and Bonded turning point 1 and just alpha strike you, because now the board is encouraging me to do that. So they are not an easy kill team to play. If you want to be fully flexible, you need to buy 1.5 kits. Not even 1.5, like 1.25. The biggest annoyance is just getting extra drones. But yeah, it's really unfun to play against. Like, the biggest problem I had when I played them again at that tournament last month is Well, it's like I don't like playing kill teams that I've won a lot with because I'm like I've already done them like what I can with the kill team in general. But it was just like my opponents were so disappointed because they were like they all said like, John, you're a great opponent, but there's nothing I could have done.
It feels uninteractive. Yeah, you just feel like it's solved already. That unless you're perfect, you're not going to stop it, and that can be quite tough.
Yeah, because I go into games going, okay, I've seen where you deployed. He's going to be Markelight to die turning point 2. He's going to be Markelight to die to turning point 3. And then that's just what I do. It's just like, it's so easy to Markelight stuff. Especially when you go 5 high intensity Markelights. There's nothing you can do unless that gets changed. So they are very strong. They are arguably, like, if it wasn't for Felgor, they'd probably be the best kill team at the moment. They're a lot better on Into the Dark. Another trick you can do is if you have the APL or someone's visible, you can Markelight someone with a high intensity Markelight, and if you're like, you can go on guard and then immediately Markelight them again. So on Into the Dark, you can have someone put 4 Markelights on someone in effectively a single activation, which is crazy, right? That's why they're so good on Into the Dark now. And drones can open doors by slamming their way in. And never underestimate the Crazy Melee Drone. Crazy Melee Drone has done so much work for me. Like, as I said, everyone's like, what's that shield drone gonna do? And it's like bashes their heads in, like, for the greater good. But yeah, it's just like I feel bad because it's just like it's not a very healthy kill team.
Do you think it's because it's one of the first blocks worth of stuff?
Yes.
That they were like, here's how we're going to do Tau, and they didn't remember that there was actually going to be more to the game than just shooting?
Yeah, apparently, like, the first set of boxes were designed. This is all rumors. Like, this.
They were paired off, weren't they? So it was like them into novitiates, wasn't it?
Yeah, so novitiates had to be like crazy powerful to deal with Pathfinders, which we had a problem where novitiates were crazy powerful because they had been made to balance Pathfinders, and then all of a sudden when Pathfinders lost all their power, novitiates were like, oh, I am so powerful. It's like, psh, you're dead. Psh, you're dead. Like,
that's the sound of a heavy flamer, isn't it?
Well, it's like they would backhand you. But there were rumors like they weren't, because they hadn't set on how they wanted to do kill team. They were just going to make each kill team like crazy powerful, but it didn't really continue. And like they do show their age. Like the thing I do like, which I wish Games Workshop would do more, them and Vet Guard, and to an extent Blooded, being locked to a single archetype is actually really nice balancing, and I wish they would do more of that.
Yes. It also makes picking up a kill team a little bit more straightforward, that you don't make that mistake of picking the less useful archetype with a kill team as you're trying them out, type of thing.
Yeah, because you kind of go, okay, I can only pick this archetype. That's all I need to pick. So I'll always pick this. I'll just learn how to play it, and that's a less mental load. Instead of having 2 to 3 archetypes, which you lose flexibility but become reliable. Because the other thing is, while it becomes easier for opponent to play around, you can just spend time going, I wonder what they're going to pick. Is it seek and destroy? I'm going to stay off the objectives. Because like a cool thing with Montcar, especially if you're playing secure or loot, you can dash, loot, secure, move away. And all of a sudden, someone who's playing Eliminate Guard, they would just like never score it against me because I'm just like never on the objectives long enough for them to score it. So it's like they are still a very problematic team. I think like everyone's happy when Pathfinders are nerfed, right? It's the same in 40k. Everyone's happy when Tau get nerfed. I do think Pathfinders are incredibly unhealthy still. The way I would change them is the recon drone needs to go back to being 2 operatives instead of 1. Or if you take the recon drone, you can't take any other drones. Something like that. So you go, oh, I can't double up on the gun drone and the recon drone. The other thing they should probably do is either make Markelights, the moment someone uses the Markelights, they all go instead of having to wait till the end of the turning point. So, for example, let's say I shoot at someone with 3 Markelights. For that operative, they burn it, and then no one else can do the same. So I think it would probably or you just remove high intensity Markelights. You need to do something because the team is very uninteractive. It's very hard to counterplay them unless you get early shots off, or you're just incredibly durable because you can just go like, sure, I will take your fusion grenade, bring it. And it's just a very polarizing team.
Do you think these sorts of changes won't happen if they haven't already happened until the next edition, because perhaps it's work that they've probably already done and we'll just say for that perhaps?
Maybe. I think because people hate Pathfinders so much and they are incredibly toxic, in the next 3 months, if they become crazy powerful, I could see them getting nerfed. I know a lot of the playtesters hate Pathfinders. And it's just like, it's weird. The weirdest thing is like, I remember people being in the Pathfinder chats getting upset from me pushing Pathfinder nerfs, and they were like, look guys, our team is ridiculously broken. And they were like, no, it's fine. It's entirely thematic. We have no melee. And I was just like, yeah, but we're just shooting people in the face. It doesn't, we don't need melee. It's just like, bam. It's yeah. I mean, I think the only issue is it's so late into this edition's lifespan.
That's what it feels like, right?
Yeah, I have a feeling we may not get any more huge changes. Like,
yeah,
because you can kind of see from the latest balance data slate, unless you were Void Dancer Troop, like you didn't get a big nerf.
It's a holding pattern. It feels like it's just keeping it going until they drop a whole new set, which
yeah,
I can wait for.
Yeah, it's like it's not horrible, but the thing is, look, as someone who plays Pathfinders, well, played them a long time, I'd be happy with them being destroyed. I think, you know, they had their time. Like, they are just not a fun team. Like, they need to be rewritten. But at the moment, they are so uninteractive. It's just not healthy, which is why I just, like, I feel immense guilt. Because it's like, the problem is, the biggest problem Pathfinders have is you're either destroying your opponent or you're going, everyone's telling me they're broken, but I lose with them all the time. How are they good? And, like, there's no in-between. Like, it's generally like you never go someone like, yeah, Pathfinder's okay, right? It's just like, it's just crazy. So I don't know. I know this is kind of like a pessimistic guide, but it's just like this kill team is so powerful.
Yeah, you got to be honest about it. There's no point saying, but it's okay, it's got some weaknesses, and then lie, because that's not going to help anyone,
exactly.
is it?
You like, as a Pathfinder player, you're going to hate the Felgor matchup because it's literally anti-Pathfinders. But, you know, if you're not into Felgor, Felgor, as I said, on Beta Decima is hilarious. I feel really bad for the Felgor player because it's just like, oh yeah, so if I move out of my drop zone, I die. It's like, yep, I'm sorry. It's the way this game works. So it's like, yeah. I mean, they're still a fun kill team to learn. As I said, I think it's worth playing them at least for a month or two to learn. It helps improve your shooting. So after I've played Pathfinders, I got really good at getting angles to get shots, punishing people for poor positioning. Like, Pathfinders will help with your positioning and spacing, so they're really good for that. And they'll also show you how crazy visibility works when you make core abilities work off visibility. But I think that's pretty much it, unless chat has anything to add, or you do, Scrivo.
Not massively.
It's I've just dumped like 2 years worth of Pathfinder knowledge in about an hour and 15 minutes. So like so me and Travis, Travis Schenk, he is like from New York. We're kind of like the Pathfinder OGs. The thing is, the problem when you chat on Discord, you get lectured by people who don't play in events, and the problem is and it's not like, oh, I'm more right than them. But their logic doesn't make sense because they haven't tested in a competitive setting in a tournament. And you just go like, okay, so we just started discussing with each other, and we just came up with like disgusting strategies. It was just like, yeah, it's like, we're really nice Pathfinder players. He gets really upset every time I mention about like nerfing Pathfinder. It's like, no, John, they're fine, stop. We suffered for a year. And I was like, no, we must suffer more. We have not paid fully for our sins. Like, could you imagine if we had a Breacher team? I thought Breacher team would have been great, like the Tau shotgun guys. Like,
yes,
they would have been
I
really
would
cool.
be up for that.
The problem is they probably would have been AP1 at close range, but it's just like they're a Pathfinder team, they're a Tau team that has to come towards you, and they have like energy shotguns. I think when people see you're getting rushed down by Breachers, they would go like, oh, Pathfinder's like Tower coming to me. This is a nice change, instead of like a Pathfinder coming at you and like rolling and shooting you to death. Because like Pathfinder's doing a more impressive way.
Yeah, and breaches are about mobility as well, so that could have given a very different play style as well, with the dash being part of that.
Yeah. I mean, they probably would have just changed Montcar. Like, I would be very shocked when they get reworked if Montcar stays the same. Like, and I'd be shocked if Markelites stayed the same. Well, because like Markelites got changed heavily in 40k, where they're kind of fine now in 40k. I think they're the best they've been.
They remove benefits of cover.
Yeah, right. I've been a fan of, if they wanted to change Markelites, if you want to Markelite someone who works on a free up, but everyone's been very vehemently against that. But we've been going on about Pathfinders for a long time. Like, literally, I could talk 2 to 3 hours about Pathfinders, probably longer. They are a very deep team.
Please don't.
But it's, yeah, it's not a fun kind of learning experience unless you just want to learn how to dismantle your opponents every game, right? That's pretty much it from us. Remember, Scrivo, where can we find you?
You'll find me as Scrivo Art on Instagram or on Ko-fi, kofi.com/John Scrivens.
Yeah, and I've got my patrons, so patrons will get something like this early, but my patrons have been great. They're super cool. And like and subscribe, all of that, as well as my 2 tournaments. So this will probably go out after my May tournament, all at the same time. But my June Goonhammer Open, that's going to be super fun. Hopefully going to get a lot of people. Like, my events are going to have a lot of prizes, so even if you don't win, like, there's prizes for first, second, third, best in faction. I think I've got 6 different factions, like Compendium, Eldari, Xenos, Space Marine, Imperium, Chaos. So it's like loads of prizes.
Nice.
Prizes for top 8, top 16, most sporting, best painted, and I'm going to give like one award I've actually really thought was cool is best prize for like best new player. So it's like a new player award, something, not best new player.
Oh,
but,
cool.
yeah, but you know, like, oh, this was your first event, you did really well, like, you know, you did it, you had a great time, like, here you go, you win this. So it's just like to encourage player retention. Because the one thing I liked about Underworld is effectively everyone got some kind of prize for going. And I'm just hoping with the next organized play kits, when Games Workshop, whenever they do them for Kill Team, they kind of bring that back. Because it's just nice, even if you go to an event and don't top, but you go like, oh, I got like an acrylic token or like some cool cards, just anything, right?
Yeah,
nice.
And it's nice to get tokens and stuff that are actually useful.
Yeah.
Just maybe not measuring gauges that are the wrong size.
Yeah, yeah. But that's pretty much it from us today. I think I'll work on a theme song outro. But remember, no matter how many times you play against Pathfinders, it will eventually end, and you should win as long as you can roll lots of crits. There we go.
That was awful.
Yeah, it's like, because you there's so much Pathfinder knowledge, like you have to get into like, not the mood, but it's like once I get going, I have to keep going because everything links into each other. So like Markelites, I had to spend so much talking about because people underestimate how crazy Markelites are and how important it is to set out Markelites. And then it's just, then it's positioning, spacing, and then when you realize you will always go first, turning point 2, your opponents just go, can I?
Well, that's the game.
Can I do that for 2 CP? And I was like, no. If you believed in space equality, yes.
I could just say just a scratch and you can laugh at me.
Well, the thing is, with the ions, you're rolling... The funny thing about just a scratch, ions roll so many dice. They would...
You're going to get a crit. Yeah.
No. Because if they roll 5 hits, you can make 2 saves. So even if you just a scratch 1, you're dead. It's just you don't even need to force crits. But you do take rails into that matchup because if you get 2 crits into a commando and they don't make one of their 5-up saves, you've just killed them. Because they go to take 4 mortal wounds, going down to 6 wounds, and then the 2 crits just kill them. So I'll just catch up with Chad a bit. I also see why my friends always lose against me. I only play elite teams, and he has obviously been playing them wrong in the last 2. Yeah, as I said, elites are a surprising bad matchup for Pathfinders. I had to study. So when I posted how to beat Intercession Squad, that was me studying how to beat Intercession as Pathfinders.
With Pathfinders, yeah. I remember you saying.
Yeah, because everyone was like, oh, that's a really good guide. I was like, yeah, I studied specifically how to dismantle this team. Pour one out for my 4th minute Fast Stalker. Yeah, man. When I was reading I love the Fast Stalker Kinban, right? I took them to LVO until I realized I played in the practice tournament and I was just like, yeah, this kill team's not going to cut it. And that was when they were at their peak. Like, they're such a great kill team. But when I was reading the latest balance status late and they're like, we keep reminding people, Fast Stalkers don't kill. They are more like sneaky pirates. Like, they're mercenaries. And I was just like, but they're a warrior race. I guess when they become pirates, they chill out a bit. You know, they're just like.
They were going toe to toes with commandos and stuff, which I guess isn't what their intention was.
I know it's just a weird team. I guess because they want each kill team to feel thematic. I think they're holding off in case they get a proper melee crew team, and then they just go like it has a crew tox or whatever, and they're like, we've made 2 melee crew teams. The only downside to each team having a single archetype is your opponent would pretty much be able to guess your attack ups and therefore your game. That is true. That is very true. But that's why I like it as a balancing mechanic, because can you imagine if mandrakes were just seek and destroy or actually just infiltration? Like, you could tone down so many powerful kill teams by just locking them to a single archetype. Like, if Felgor were only seek and destroy, that would be fine. It doesn't really make sense, their recon. This may have been said and I missed it, but what are the recommendations for tac ops of the kill team? Okay, I didn't touch on tac ops, but it's usually if they are 8 operatives or less, mark enemy movements for marker lights, like especially into Harlequins. If they are more than 8 operatives, you take killing blow, and then you usually take what do you call it? A recover item, and I like secure vantage, right? Because you are one of the few teams that benefit from being on vantages. Your opponents don't, and you can get them easily.
Bastards.
Yeah, with climbing gear, right? You can just get up there so easy.
Yeah.
You can also take what is it? Courier. Courier works because you just put it on your literally. I would take the shield drone, make it a courier, and then just go, okay, my shield drone is going to dash 9 inches into that corner. Do you want to go get within 2 inches to deal with it while the rest of my team shoots you up? And they're just like, okay. Yeah, there's like very little counterplay. It's like when I was playing Star Striders, I was like, technically I was happy into Pathfinders because I know I could outplay most Pathfinder players, but I did not enjoy the matchup because I have to endure the gun drone. Because I have 10 activations, I have to wait for the gun drone to shoot and kill me. So it's just like, I think that's the worst part when you play against Pathfinders, when you realize there's nothing you can do to stop the gun drone shooting at you twice. You just have to take it. I've been on both ends and it sucks because it's like, it sucks using it because you just go, you're only 10 activations. Okay, you've activated everyone, right? Okay, so my gun drone is going to switch to engage as free APL. It's moving and dashing within 2 inches of both of those operatives. That one has free marker lights, so I'm hitting on freeze with relentless, ignoring cover anyway. You're dead. And then now I'm going to activate my drone controller to shoot you again. So I'm hitting on 5s here. I'm within 2, so I ignore your cover anyway. I've rolled hot because of relentless. You're dead as well. And your opponent just goes like, there's nothing I could have done. It's like, unfortunately, yes.
The first time that happened, that was exactly that. And I was just like, I felt utterly gutted because it was like, yes, I could have maybe not been within range, but at the same time, I wouldn't have been able to play the game then.
Yeah.
Which is tough, right?
Yeah, it just sucks. There's like nothing you can do. But it's late, so because I left there late, it's my fault. I actually played some Kill Team today, so
nerd.
Well, the thing is, everyone's expecting me to play Pathfinders, but I'm resisting. Like, I don't think Pathfinders are just. I don't enjoy playing them. I don't think they're good for the meta.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Like, if you don't enjoy it, what's the point? Yeah. Like, you may get a result, but
it's not worth it. Like, I did when I played that Beta Decima tournament, I was just like, it just didn't feel nice. Because the thing is, I was chatting to one of my good friends from America, and he was the same, but with like, he stopped playing Felgor because he's like, I like the kill team, but it's too oppressive. People don't enjoy not playing against me, but playing against my team. And I go to events to make friends. He wins events because he's a really good player. But I was just like, no, I'm the same. It's why I stopped playing Pathfinders.
It's why my Felgor are still on sprue. Because they've been kind of pretty good. I was like, I don't want to be playing games and the team does the lifting.
Yeah, it's like, it's not even just that. It's just, I'm really against community bans on teams, but I'm also pro. If you don't want to run a team because you think it's too toxic, there's no harm not running it. Like,
no, set yourself another challenge.
Exactly, yeah. And I was like, look, I've won enough events. Now I just mainly play and travel to see friends and network. So like, winning is a bonus. So like it's just how you find it. I don't begrudge people who do play it. I think the worst thing is when people are like, oh, you're playing that team, and it's like, as long as they're a good player and like they're friendly. I haven't really encountered. Okay, there's one, but I never played them. Or two, but I only played one of them, but they were okay. But it's like it's very rare to encounter someone playing a top team and then also being a dick, right? It's very rare. Even like in every game system, like because generally, remember, it's not online where people can just be dicks. It's like you're literally going out to meet someone, and it's like it's sort of a contract, right? You know, even if you'll never see them again. You kind of want to be a nice person, right?
Yeah. I think I've only ever had one kill team game that I didn't enjoy because of the opponent. So.
Yeah.
And that's in quite a lot of games. So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to end the stream there. I'll update the thumbnail, but thank you guys for watching. It was a pleasure. We'll be back soon. We might do like more stream. It just depends on my scheduling. It's all me, really. Because
I'm always free.
Yeah, it's just me. Thank you. Thanks for the liveness. I'm going to put a face on there, like the haircut. That's what the